with guests throughout the week. It's not easy. So I think today for say thanks to guests there, for big that they leave them busy schedule and that they can host a program, they part of we and talk about important issues that they happen in the country.
Exactly.
In the world of entertainment, since today Friday, let's talk a little bit about that. The entertainment industry, especially in terms of arts, I don't see a lot of sip and art, sip and drink. They go a lot of painting at different places. We go for recommend people and commend them for what they do and the input in the world of art. And whether it's music, whether it's fashion, we go for make them feel celebrated and they will understand. Say, yes, we see what they are doing and it's a good move. And let them continue for push to go before.
Exactly. And there's another event coming up again where somebody else would do something with wood. Pieces and crafts, just like how they say. I think it's beautiful because when you get to see how creative their minds be for actually take the thoughts and make a whole creation out of it, it's amazing.
I will go for take you and the go draw for me.
Oh, definitely. I'm cool with it. I think the only thing why I still sabi draw box, I sabi draw boat. That's the best I can do, and I sabi draw star.
Wow. So. But then again, when they talk about that, it make me remember while we were at school, during our science subjects, you could see they would give you for draw this, for draw that day, for draw that day. But then again, how do you use the drawings in there?
Say you for draw frog or the digestive system of a particular animal and you label that. And then me in primary, I remember way back, like they even be they tell me for draw. On my way to school this morning, I saw. Then you get for draw, wait till you see. And then imagine if you see policeman and then you see motor car, Jesus. Those days. It's quite a lot, and actually art is something with myself, like I actually feel like I wanted to be an artist as in for paint or draw pictures, but I think the best side with me able for express than maybe not for just scribble. Exactly.
And I must say you get a very lovely voice. You did try at the radio as well. That was very lovely this morning.
Thank you.
And
of course you still get to the voice. Of course she does voice over a lot. But we all try for just pull things, draw things, and be exactly. Be diverse, exactly.
Well, now so go welcome you to Wake Up Edition program, special edition as always. With the do and Creole, for ensure say you get for be part of the program, for ensure say you get your views, involved, you be included, and you offer with what we talk this morning. My name is Zulaya Hamid.
And me, your name is Elizabeth Mamo. Don't forget, this now Wake Up Sierra Leone. We can to you live from the West Street Studios inside Freetown, Tower Hill. And same way so, we did live on channel 33, we did live on DSTV channel 399, live on radio 101.7 FM, and on we Facebook page, we're at AYV News. So you can drop your questions, comments, or thoughts on what we did discuss this morning. We will find time inside the program where we will take up.
Well, we'll join with sponsors, Vocation Commercial Bank. We'll go on quick commercial break. We'll come right back.
Vocation Commercial Bank want for telling customers then say they don't come with one new banking service where they call agency banking. With this agency banking service here, you can use any mobile phone for do any transaction. You can open account to any local commercial bank agents then all about the country. I like you not gonna bank safe. Local commercial bank agents go give you receipts anytime you do transaction with them. Safe, you can use your phone number or your account number for do any kind of transaction. Anyone power agent then can transfer money to anybody with your local SIM couple app, and if you don't get the app safe. With agency banking, you can request or block any local commercial bank card. Safe, customers can pay them bills then, buy top up, send e-copper and request statement and use the QR code. In not tap there, you can also check how much money then at your account, request or stop any check, send and cash out e-copper. But always remember say, for keep your phone safe. Local commercial bank agency banking. You bank, now you neighbor.
AYV International, a truly global media outlet. Our media platforms can be found across the world, including Africa, America, Asia, Europe, Caribbean, the Pacific, and more. Our media services include broadcasting, media production of documentaries, movies, and a wide range of audiovisual services, advertising and public relations, sporting and events coverage, photography, and a reliable media equipment rental unit, as well as media training. Contact us at our International AYV Media Centre, 18 Soho Square, London, United Kingdom, W1D 3QH. Telephone us on 074 967 456 33. Or you can send us an email to ayv.international@ayvnews.com or ayv.international@gmail.com. You can also find us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
All right, welcome back. This is now Wake Up Sierra Leone here, live on AYV channel 33, and same with DSTV channel 399 on radio 101.7 FM, and on our Facebook page, Wena AYV News. Now, inside the program this morning, we did talk to Eric Blaze, the consultant of Emerging Technologies Institute, we're based in the United States of America, on the plan for establish technical and vocational institution. We will primarily focus on information technology, cybersecurity, computer networking, and ComTech, among other things.
And also inside the program, we'll get with Abdul Karim Ansari, we work on our United Nations, and he will tell more, what it feels like to be at the UN. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Zulai.
Okay, so we'll start off with you, Eric. Give me a little bit of information on the Emerging Technologies Institute.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, and I'll start by a brief introduction of myself. Eric Blaze. Work for the United Nations for more than 25 years, working with particularly youth and women in governance, security sector reform, and DDR, disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. This is a United Nations flagship program to support government throughout Africa. And I've been engaged in this work for many years. And lucky for me, I end my assignment with the UN because nothing goes forever. So I'm working as a consultant for Emerging Technologies Institute, which is a company founded in 1999 in New York City. And I am from New York, USA. And the school is a private vocational school which offers post-secondary education to students to allow them to have entry-level employment and jobs opportunities. So I am a consultant for the school, so I'm engaged in this activity, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, and also briefly tell us why Sierra Leone? Why are you in Sierra Leone?
Okay, Sierra Leone because my good colleague from the United Nations, we work together, Abdul Karim Ansari. He actually attended one of my programs where I work with youth and women, and I'm teaching courses dealing with capacity building for them to be able to be engaged into activities, employment activities, but primarily in Mali, the place where I started my program. The youths are attracted to activities dealing with jihadist components. So he actually saw one of my program, and then he requests that I come to Sierra Leone to actually talk to the people who's in governance leadership in Sierra Leone to really speak about the program focusing on flagship education program to empowering young people, particularly women who actually been vulnerable to being unemployed. So the program is here to really promote this education, including cybersecurity, as you just mentioned, information technology and networking and computer programming, etc. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, I want to know, because there's this, this ideology in Sierra Leone that technical and vocational institutes are not, lucrative jobs. You don't get to be somebody of importance at the end of the day. So, I want you to bring out the good of all of this.
Okay. Well, I am a product of a vocational school myself. Through high school days, I met with my guidance counselor, who told me many years ago, for you to be something in life, you have to have a skills. Skills are important because once you have a skill, you have something to offer to your employer, also something to offer to society. So the concept of vocational school are not instrumental in people's life, I fully disagreed because I am a product of someone who actually attend a vocational school and I learned a vocational trade. I have a specialty in telecommunication. I am a computer programmer by trade, and I use that vocational entry point to do other things in life. So it is really the time for someone who actually wants to learn a skill, to empower themselves with knowledge, to be able to engage in vocational training, especially in information technology, which is emerging technology where everywhere in the world, if you possess such a skill, you will be instrumental offering your service to different enterprises, employers looking for your skills.
Let's talk about cybersecurity, and again, the emerging times it has on, cyberbullying and the need for cybersecurity. What should we expect since you're bringing this on the table?
Well, anything dealing with cyber is something which is outside of your control. So cyberbullying, it's something that happened, but people have to be aware. We have to be able to sensitize young people for them to know the impact of cyberbullying and how it happened. So as you know, the internet is an open world and you expose yourself whenever you go online. So people have to be aware where they have to log on, where do they put their user ID and password, and also it is why we are here, to inform them that dangers could occur and they have to be aware. So this is the whole idea of sensitizing for them to become aware of this cybersecurity, especially enterprises who are actually like banks, who have financial data for customers. So without having a good firewalls to really protect the data, this is also part of cybersecurity. It is really a science, and many people is not aware the importance of such a technology. And then it is part of our program to be able to train young people to become expert in cybersecurity.
Before we go to Abdul Karim, you made mention that you worked with youths particularly. I want to know, again, in the area of cybersecurity, since, youths are more inclined to the internet and the likes, what would you have to say, would bring out the genuinity of, not only using internet as a form or means of entertainment, but to find a source of income or learning a skill?
Okay. Well, working with youth, especially particularly in the UN, I was a program manager. I had a budget, and my budget was focusing to youth empowering. Okay? Most of the time, you talk to a youth after maybe high school, they are vulnerable, they're looking for opportunities. And those opportunities need to be there. In the first place they look for, they say, oh yeah, I want my government to be able to help me find a job. Yeah. And the government cannot really hire every youth out there. So therefore, they have to be aware that it is important for them to be trained with the skills. Once they have the skill, then they become employable. And if they become employable, they are contributing to society, and they'll be engaged, and they'll be really be busy, and then stay away from all these cybersecurity and engaging on the internet and kind of thing. They need to be really engaged with full-time employment in a technical area.
Okay. Now, Abdul Karim, let's talk about the drive and the plan to establish the Technical and Vocational Institute.
Okay. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Like you said, being a Sierra Leonean, but for the benefit of Rick, probably I have to go in English. I've seen it. You know, I've worked with the UN for 20 years. And coming from Sierra Leone, like Sonia was saying, Zulia was saying, Sierra Leoneans pride formal education as the only means to be able to make it. I remember when I was a kid, you know, you have to be an accountant. My background is in accounting. I did accounting, my first degree. And then some people say you have to be a lawyer, or you have to be probably a journalist, you know, formal, before you'll be able to break in life. And having spent 20 years in the UN, where we even recruit janitors, you know, we recruit mechanics a lot. I think I would say 40% of the job the UN is doing, it is not only formal. Then I decided, you know what, I think we're getting it wrong somewhere. So I had this drive that when I'm returning back to Sierra Leone, which is pretty soon, I have to be able to give back to my community. So when I approached Eric and I saw him delivering, and I saw the impact, because I've known Eric for like 10 years. You know, he did it in Congo, in Uganda, and now he's currently doing it in Mali. I felt, okay, how beautiful or how great it is to give back to Sierra Leone in a way that I'll be able to impact the youth, which are a demographic group among us that are most vulnerable. You know the history of Sierra Leone. So I want to make sure that if there's an opportunity for these guys to be trained and get them equipped to be able to face the new challenges, I think it will be good for me. So that's what's driving me to bring Eric to Sierra Leone.
Okay, where do we start? Because, you know, even in our primary school ages, I remember growing up and I wanted to be involved in computers, because when I was young, I watched movies where I saw a lot of coding. And then I had an uncle who came who used a laptop. That was my first time seeing a laptop. And I was so curious to know and learn about a computer. And I thought maybe I would have become a computer scientist.
Sure.
But then, you know, growing up and you get to hear teachers telling you sometimes how you have to become the next president, you have to become the next lawyer or the doctor and all. So where do we start to let young people know that our skills can be developed and it is not just the formal field that would actually provide a job?
Correct. I think, first of all, it starts with sensitization. And there was, in July this year, 2023, there was a joint research between the World Bank, ILO, International Labour Organization, and UNICEF, wherein they realized that TVET, we call it TVET in the US, which is the Technical Vocational Education Training, they realized it plays a pivotal role in our globalization. The technology is just moving. Like, for example, in the UN, now I can stay in Sierra Leone and log into my computer. You know, I'm working. I don't have to be in the office, you know, sometimes to be able to perform. I can be wherever in the world, approve document, you know, write papers, and then produces them. So we have to start now. And thank God we have a governance that is focusing on human capital development. So if we start now, let our kids, you know, the young men know that you can be somebody, you know, through learning skills from the vocation. And you can imagine, you can even be the president of Sierra Leone. You can even be the head of the judiciary. But you need something to start going on. So I think the focus should be sensitizing our youth that this is the way forward. This is the way we're going. We need to embrace it as a society. So that is why I'm here. And I'll make sure that Sierra Leoneans know that you can hit the highest level in terms of career by going through vocation. You don't have to be a graduate from Fobe College or IPAM, or, you know, you can be a graduate from any technical vocational school and you'll be able to contribute into our economy and national development.
When this institute would have been formed, how would it run? What would be the curriculum or the courses?
Okay, that one I will leave it to Eric.
Yes, thank you for this question. I need to let you know that since the pandemic COVID, we have seen a lot at all level, university level, vocational level. People are studying remotely, what we call distance learning. I myself is a product of distance learning from the UN. I participate in many training recently in Kenya, where we had registered 30 participants, and it was only 12 students who were physically present in the classroom. Even people who actually were in remote areas in Kenya. What they need to have is an internet connection and a laptop. Once you have those two items, you are connected throughout the world. So that's the first thing. So therefore, having an infrastructure is important, but also be able to provide the training remotely is a big, huge opportunity. It gives you opportunity not to reduce your expenditures, because I remember the old days, people want to travel to study in America. You have to factor in the course program, the dormitory, the living expenses, all that, and then of course your travel allowances for a period of 4 years. It is a lot of money. But with what technology offers us today with fiber optic connection, you can connect to a learning program management where they give you access to the module and you are monitored to the program that you are taking, and you are assessed based on the knowledge and skills that you acquired for particular time. And then at the end of the program, you are issued what they call a certificate of completions. Now, most of our program, after the certificate is earned, you have to enroll on pre-certification to be certified in your field. Now, when you are certified, for example, as a Microsoft certified engineer, you're a big shot. I mean, employers will be looking for you. So this is the kind of skills that we are promoting. Be able to complete the training regardless where you are in Freetown or in the regional remote areas. Once you have a laptop or computer in connection, you're good to go.
Okay, quickly before Zulai comes in, Abdul Karim, how effective will an online training be in Sierra Leone?
I think it will be effective once we have the necessary infrastructure in place. Because I remember when I was discussing with Eric, the first thing that I told him, I said we have challenges when it comes to internet connection, data, because it's very expensive. And then when I go through his program, I realized they even factored, in part of their program, they factored the budget to provide not only the infrastructure, but also support data, because they know it's very important. I did an online, my third master's degree, which is from the University of Liverpool in the UK, was online based, because I work with the UN, so most of the time I'm here today, I'm there tomorrow, so I would not be able to sit in the classroom so I did my third degree on online studies, and it was very effective. In the beginning I find it difficult because saloon our land book now, right? The manual way. So but then that's how I realized how important it is that I will be able to sit in my office at the same time being able to go to school. So, and it's something we're going to encourage. A lot of universities, probably after Eric delivered the success, maybe some universities will think, okay, you know what, our classrooms are crowded. The last time I went to IPAM, I couldn't believe, you have 200-300 students, occupying one space. If we have technologies, we have the online platforms, I think we'll be able to also elevate the stress, in some of these institutions. Because, for example, for Bay College, it was built for a particular number of students. If you go there today, it's overstretched, and it also affects the utilities. Because let's say they build this school for maybe 1,000 people. Now we're having probably 10, 15, 20,000. it is really, really not good. So I think online will be effective.
I want to, let you, this particular one, talk in local dialect, please. Yes, for girl picking them, where as Elizabeth they say coding, mathematics, it's as if it's for boys only. And he made mention that this is they even going to the provinces.
Correct.
And the level of education within that area, then they, how now go, substitute or cushion waiting the picking they already get to waiting una they get for offer. Can you comment?
Yeah, I could comment. This is technical schools, and technical training, no doubt. However, if you look at your population, there's a lot of people to be trained. There's a word we have to get used to. It's called vetting. You have to be able to select people with the aptitude for that kind of training. It would be very nice to bring everybody on board, but the pilot program is looking for 1,000 students to be trained. And we, when I say we, emerging technology is not in the position to make that determination. Who's going to be that 1,000? It's going to be at the governance level who will be able to have criteria for selection to say, look, from this region, we have 10%. From another region, we'll have 15%. Freetown. So at the end, they will have to develop what they call a selection criteria list. People would have aptitude, and in part of that, we emphasize that 60% of it has to be women.
Good.
Okay, and we are very serious about that because the experience show working with the UN, when you create a program and you engage women, you have more partners, financial partners, come to your rescue to finance the program. And we know that the program, not only you put it together, it's costly, and the student doesn't have the means to do that. And that's why we come in with a full package. We make the proposal to the governance leadership. Once they endorse the program, it is emerging technology working with the international community to say, look, this is a program that has been endorsed by the government. We want you in your educational portfolio to see the best way for you to finance the program. So at the end, it is a win-win-win for everyone.
And just as you mentioned about being costly, can we talk about funding again? Where does the Institute get the fund to run these programs?
Yes.
That's important.
That's very important. The way we do, it's what they call a framework methodology. We start brainstorming, and it is the beginning of my trip to come to exchange with the governance leadership to say, look, this is a program that will be able to fit into your flagship educational program. So once they agreed, we go back, we draft a proposal with a detailed budget to say, okay, this is the cost of the program, this is what it will, the expenditures that if you want for us to work in Freetown, not only will give you capability for the student to work remotely, but if you give us an infrastructure, we will renovate, we do the rehabilitation, we will buy the equipment, we will create a lab. For those who doesn't have opportunities to stay at home, they could come to a presence learning in the classroom. Remotely, we will do the same. So in the budget, it is all detailed. Now, once we have that endorsed, it is the responsibility of emerging technology to work with the resource mobilization team to go to the U.S. Embassy, to go to the Japanese embassy, because those communities at the international level, they come to the Sierra Leone with a portfolio. And most of the time is because people are not aware that these fundings are available. So this is why we go to them, and then with the hope of presenting the program to them, and then to get the funding. So at the end, the government, the leadership, governance, and also the student, it doesn't have to really put out any money, but they need to really put the time and then find that the program is useful to the population that will be benefited to the program.
Is it going to be free?
For the students, yes.
For the students?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, it's free learning.
Yeah, it's free learning.
Is it for the first set of the 1,000 people you want to train, or with subsequent cohorts it will be the same?
Well, this is what we call a pilot. We coming from the UN, we make up our own words. When we say a pilot, it's not a pilot who's piloting the plane. It's a first phase of the program. We are targeting 1,000 students, and then once that program is successful, because there are mechanisms we are putting in place to ensure that it will be successful. For example, the student coming in, they will be evaluated to see how much knowledge do they have.
Okay.
Once they are accepted, they are into the program, and then after 2 months, there will be a monitoring evaluation team working to assess the knowledge they had acquired so far, and so forth, until they get the certificate and then prepare for the certification. So by the time they finish, the program is free, but they are empowered with knowledge.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Abdul Karim, again, since, I want to only talk the same Creole so that, people get to understand.
I'll do that.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm being local.
The 60% where you don't make mention of say yes for women and girls, for they be inclusive. This is in line with the human capital development for where the government, wants to achieve.
Correct.
I want to make you explain to family, especially those in the provinces, what will be the benefits for them, and what will be the criteria, as they don't make mention, so that people get for understand.
Okay. Well, the benefits, to be honest, the sky will be the limit. Why I say so, if we talk about sustainable development in this country, we need to forget, especially with sister them involved. Okay, we need to make sure they get the right skills for meet up the way with the world they go. Because I remember 20 years ago when we graduate, there was nothing like a mobile telephone. Now today, even when we do here, you can go at the internet. Everything is there. It opened doors, okay? Because if we talk about sustainable development, we also talk about this, the global, it can be sustainable. The world, my sister, will push towards technology. And you look at them. Me an accountant, I put an way. If you go travel now, most are abroad. You need money. You don't need for do check. Now even the check, people are going to ATM, cash out. So technology, they take jobs them. They take jobs them from people them. And for make the young one them, we not make them redundant. Because there is one thing for going to school, but the other thing is employability. Exactly. If you go to school, you get PhD, you get masters. If you're not able to get an entry into RAM, then it becomes a problem. For example, we still get schools in this country today, we still offer library studies. I'm not to say library studies not to any good program, okay? But is it in line with the way with the globalization they go? It's not in line. You understand? So it's this particular program, it will be so helpful. It will make sure that we pick in them by the time they finish high school, even if want to go college. That's what America they do. That's what England they do. They put so much emphasis on the vocational trainings here, and the Indians, in fact, they don't take it to a different level. America, they get certain programs the way Silicon Valley, they bring guys in from India. You're going to be shocked, say they don't even get degrees. Some of them, one great area they focus on, maybe networking. And these guys are making 6-7 figures, you understand? But everything gets a start. Yes, I sure say we get vocational schools in this country, we get technical institute, we get, but most of them, because of the lack of research from we teach them, because everybody talks something where you say over to them, then get to what they call student counselors. And these are something probably we'll get for look into. Maybe we'll get a bigger picture. Because me, I go to school now, I go about academy. Say I don't know one day, I'm not getting sure with the committee. They say, Abdul Karim, what where you grew up, which you want to be like? We'll be just to go and solo. You understand? Yeah. But people they say, okay, like a country like America or England, then they watch the Peking student council. You look and say, this Peking, he like for church, he gets skilled, I think say better we guide them, they go do it. So it's not go university yet. You better for make you go to vocational school, go learn something. People like Bill Gates, a clear example, right? Not be a dropout, not so. But I didn't see the world before we go into technology. Today is one of the biggest guys. So if we encourage this one, trust me, it will benefit with sister them. Somebody go in a bowl. I get one clinical example. Most of the banks here, I'm not going to be surprised that when they bring people in from Nigeria, from Ghana, pay them in dollars for do jobs the way the average Sierra go would do. Why? Because then people here get the technical knowledge. Technical, not to say that degree, you know, because for example, networking, you know, you can get a certificate or a diploma. Once, because this is a practical job. Once you know them, you they help. You know, the banks, data, for keep data secure. If any of we young guys get that skills there, you don't need to get a master's degree. He get job, and he will get job for the rest of his life. You know, so yes, I agree with you. It will benefit this country a lot. You
know, it's not every day you get to meet with people who worked at the UN. So I want to, you know, for Leone, you tell family, you know, the importance so it will be both on both sides, you know, for ensure say they will be learning from the best sets of people there, and you actually know what you are bringing on the table.
Yes, I go say me when they talk to family, me a Sierra Leonean, and I get a benefit from this one. You know, because as I say, when we learn book na salon, I mean the manual way. You know, when I get the job opportunity, UN for every quarter, in fact, when you make what you call your performance, your goals, you know, your work plan for the year, there is a whole column where they talk about your personal development and career development. Then they force you, you know, just come and enter with a first degree or maybe being a lawyer. No, no lie. Every other year you get for telling who's training you want to go. And then they decide, then go pay. Then go say, go pay. You get for show something. Even you supervisor, you know, if there's a column where you go check for say, okay, how far from where I do take this job, what you don't do for ad. One day I remember when me picking me the pack me drawer. You see me certificate and then like anything. I tell her, I say, well, I also have found myself because constantly the UN they train people them for make them able facial. Before we start, will not be they do even the finance. You know, we begin to call the Sun system. Now they don't move to Umoja, with a SAP system, the technology, because in the watch they say they look waiting the corporate farm and they push to the UN said the copy. You know, so it's interesting, and I will encourage a lot of young people. I'm sure after we imagine technologies begin the program here, maybe picking and go be open. So I say get the skill for apply for you. I don't need to be a lawyer or an accountant before I work for the UN. I can be a network analyst. I can be a computer programmer. I they work for the UN, and we have a lot of them. Trust me.
Okay. Let me step in. Thank you, Karim, for this additional information. I joined the UN in 2001. I was in New York having a good life. Biggest pharmaceutical company in America, and also I work for Chase Manhattan Bank. So I had this technology experience, and this is why the UN dragged me into the Congo. And after I arrived in the Congo, what I met with was a lot of Indians who actually were working as contractor.
Yeah.
And I entered as a professional level. Now I'm competing with these people. Technically, they're well, but at the same time, what they bring into the table were technical skills from their own country. But working from that end, technology was not the only thing I was able to offer the UN. Working in the UN, I was able to do other things. I went to study what they call security sector reform. I ended up working with police officers, defense actors, and engage with civil society in what they call governance issues. I work with parliamentary oversight issues. So working for the UN gives you a whole lot of opportunities. Sky is the limit, and we are really privileged people to be able to work for the UN, obtain the knowledge, and then we want to give it back to society, and that's the whole idea of coming to Sierra Leone.
Is there an age limit for students who would partake in these courses?
Well, the program we say is for young people. The UN standard for young people is 18 to 35, but there is no limit. Okay. You know, it's up to the governance leadership to see within the 1,000 framework who's more willing, who has the more aptitude to join the program.
Okay, so as we wrap up, what is your expectation with regards setting up your institution here in Sierra Leone?
Well, actually, I arrived here a week ago. It has been very welcome, and I have met key governance actors who actually embrace the program. So I could say it is a very, very positive trip to be able to come and speak not only to the governance actors, but also to the media, as we are on live television. I think it is positive. The next phase is to be able to return and then start working very diligently to be able to put the program into implementation phase. And I hope to return with some added, what they call, all the activities we've done, and then the output that will be measured, and also the key, the impact. How we are trained 1,000, and where are these 1,000 students today? And once they have the certification and the diplomas recognized by the state of New York, it's the same skill that they could apply in the state of New York to work and elsewhere. So they'll be ready for job opportunities. So that's why, that's my hope, to really have impact in what I'll be able to do in the coming year.
Okay, quickly as we round up, excuse me, there are juniors here in Sierra Leone.
Juniors?
Yes, who you know, get to, not juniors, geniuses.
Okay,
geniuses,
okay,
people, yeah.
okay.
So who, you know, they're hands-on, they get to make radio stations, and there was this time, I think it was during Ebola virus, they made this easy way of washing hands without touching the tap. So it was really informative. What would you say to those sets of people who already have, you know, this very skillful hands to be part of, you know, to have an additional of IT and whatever you're offering? Actually,
the key word you want to keep in mind is multitasking. Yeah. In this world of technology, you have to be multitasking, especially working for the UN. I learned that from the go. When you're multitasking, you could do this today, but if your manager say, look, we need you to be able to do that, you have to be ready to go. Because this is the whole idea of preparedness, be ready with the proper skill for you to be able to be employable. So I think that multitasking is a key word I want to leave you with, and every young people have to put that in mind. It's not only focusing on one thing, but the more thing you could do and be good at it, you increase your chance to be employed.
Okay. Abdul Karim, we find out what to the people of Sierra Leone, especially young people, will go benefit from this program.
And in the same vein, you can actually answer this question from Facebook, where say, what's the proper means of establishing contact in order to inquire about enrollment in your skill training program? That's from Saidu Mansari. So whilst they ask about proper means for established contact with UNA in case they want to inquire about enrollment into your skill training program.
Okay. Yeah. That one I will leave it to Eric. I go answer halfway. Eric will get more detailed. To be humble, of course, being on a Pekin, Abdul Karim Ansari, as I say. The whole objective for bringing Mr. Eric and a salon, na me own way for give back to my community and my society. Like what Eric say, I've been very privileged, you know, for done school in this country, get an opportunity for working at UN and see the world in a different perspective. So I don't want to come to a salon just to come around, drive big motor car, they go up and down. I want to make sure, say, by the time we myself say, okay, I'm my boot at the UN, I guess until I go point to say, I'll be responsible for make sure, say, the young people in this country, they benefit from the knowledge, you know, and the skills we say able to gather. Because we've seen how drugs, one of the things that really touched me in mind, now the ravage way this the drugs, the kush, don't they cause so much havoc, and most of the time they're young people. Not to say most of them don't get they don't want better life, you know. But it's unfortunate they don't get access. Sometimes they don't get the opportunity. So if we're there for we help for make sure say them young people we want to be somebody with them, they're the future leaders of tomorrow. Yeah. I think for me, I'm glad for help. And for come back to the question we asked for the access, before we left here, Eric will give a complimentary card and he will get some details. So anybody we want to get in contact with emerging technologies, I think AYV will be pointer, because with Eric in card, you get the website, everything. I don't know if Eric go ahead. You want to add something?
Well, emerging technologies. Our website is there. The email is there. We're going to leave the detail with you, and it's emergingtech@.edu. Is online, as we say. Everything is on the internet. You'll be able to email us, and we'll be able to respond. But keep in mind, this program, not only are we doing it in Mali, we are working in DR Congo, and also proposal with partnership with Uganda. It is something that we are looking at the governance leadership to take ownership of. So they are the one who actually need to endorse it, and then we are working with them to select the candidates. So it is important that the student knows that it is not a program where they're going to go online and apply, and then we will. No, it's almost like it's a program that we will be working with to obtain a scholarship, and then we will select those who have the aptitude and the qualification to participate in the program.
Okay.
Thank you very
much.
much.
I just want to use the opportunity for thank Una, because one of the way Eric Kaya, the first way is so African young voices. I said this is the place. I want to take the opportunity because these are young people. Now we get this country.
Exactly.
You know, and thank the Una CEO in Navo, actually is a friend of mine, for create this kind of platform. And I realized when I enter the studio, now so young people, they must say, and which is actually encouraging. And I thank you now. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And
thank you.
Please keep it up.
Thank you very much.
I join my voice also to thank Elizabeth Zulai. Thank you very much for creating this platform.
Okay.
And hopefully I'll come back to report on our success story.
Okay, no problem. Always a pleasure. I will Eric Blaze, consultant from Emerging Technologies Institute, and the person before him Nabi Abdul Karim Mansari, where they work at the United Nations. When I saw go round up this first segment of the Wake Up Salon program, but inside our letter we then dates on the 1st of November 2023, with the address to the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, the UK lawyer there of Arise IIP say they don't want the government of Sierra Leone not for proceed with the course of action, and then set out this press conference where they be holding at the Radisson Blu Mamiyoko Hotel na Freetown on the 27th of October 2023. Well, they even threatening for say they will initiate legal action against the government in Sierra Leone if they go ahead for do the course of the action, which whether they don't approve for a new lease agreement with Kingo Railway and Port Company Limited for the development. Inside the explanation is for the management of Pepel Railway and Port. My colleague Ronald John Morovia is in the story.
The Arise lawyers have given the government of Sierra Leone until 3rd November 2023 to confirm in writing that they will not continue with the course of action set out in the press conference of 27th October 2023 in Freetown. The lawyers from renowned London-based law firm Linklaters said their client reserves its rights to begin legal action against the government, including and not limited to injunctions, habitual claims for interim relief and claims of damages. In another development, the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Diallo, is in Dakar as a special guest of Senegalese President Macky Sall to witness the commencement of operations of a special economic zone similar to the one that Arise has planned for Sierra Leone's Koya area. The Vice President has reflected on the investment by Arise IIP inside Sierra Leone with respect to the Koya Special Zone, but curiously, he made absolutely no mention of the controversies around the contract their government had signed with Arise for the country's Pepel port and rail assets. Meanwhile, as pressure continues to mount on government for what has been described as a very bad decision against Arise IIP, the leader of the main opposition APC, and the June 24, 2023 presidential candidate, Dr. Samura Kamara, has cautioned the government to thoughtfully handle the matter between Arise and King Hong to prevent potential state embarrassment. He has strongly advised the government of President Biu to avert any subsequent legal entanglement. Ronald Jomorovia, AYV News, Freetown.